The federal government has cancelled the parade earlier planned for the commemoration of Nigeria's 65th independence anniversary on October 1, 2025. The Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, PENGASSAN, has vowed to continue its nationwide strike against Dangote Refinery, despite a restraining order from the National Industrial Court. The Nigerian Education Loan Fund, or NELFUND, has announced the closure of the application portal for the 2024-2025 academic session from today. The federal government has declared Wednesday, October 1, that's tomorrow, as a public holiday to celebrate the country's independence anniversary. Now, the details of the news. The federal government has cancelled the parade earlier planned for the commemoration of Nigeria's 65th independence anniversary on October 1, 2025. In a statement, the Director of Information and Public Relations in the Office of the Secretary of the Federation, Segun Imohiesen, apologized for the inconvenience caused by the cancellation. Imohiesen explained that the move was not to diminish the significance of the anniversary, stressing that the federal government remains committed to celebrating Nigeria's 65th year of independence with dignity and enthusiasm. He maintained that all other programs planned for the independence anniversary will remain in effect. Imohiesen noted that the federal government appreciates the understanding, support, and cooperation of all Nigerians and members of the diplomatic community as well as guests, urging Nigerians to support the reforms of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in making Nigeria a greater nation. The federal government says it will soon roll out a new malaria prevention strategy targeted at children under 5 in southern parts of the country. The national coordinator of the National Malaria Elimination Program, Dr. Nnenna Ubulafo, revealed this at the National Perennial Malaria Chemo Prevention Research and Policy Dissemination Meeting in Abuja. According to her, the new intervention is specifically designed for areas with perennial rainfall patterns. The coordinator noted that the initiative would complement existing tools such as insecticide-treated nets, anti-malaria drugs, and the malaria vaccine. She urged caregivers to avail their children of all available interventions in an effort to eliminate malaria in Nigeria. The Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASUU, has issued a 14-day ultimatum to the federal government to address its demands. The decision followed a meeting of its National Executive Council in Abuja. In a notice of strike signed by the National President of ASUU, Professor Chris Piwuna, the union stated that if at the end of the 14-day ultimatum, the federal government fails to look into its demands, ASUU may have no option than to first embark on a 2-week warning strike, and thereafter a total and indefinite strike. ASUU says its demands include renegotiation of the 2009 ASUU-FGN agreement, sustainable funding of universities, revitalization of universities, and outstanding 25 to 35% salary arrears. ASUU maintained that poor implementation of welfare packages amid rising cost of living had made it very difficult for them to cope. The Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, PENGASSAN, has vowed to continue its nationwide strike against Dangote Refinery, despite a restraining order from the National Industrial Court. In a memo signed by its General Secretary, Lumumba Okubawa, the union dismissed reports of a valid court injunction halting its action. The PENGASSAN and the private refinery, that's Dangote, are at loggerheads over unresolved labor issues. The General Secretary instructed all members to continue the strike until further notice and warned that only official communication channels should be trusted. Earlier yesterday,
Justice Emmanuel Subilim of the National Industrial Court in Abuja restrained PENGASSAN from proceeding with its planned industrial action following an ex parte application filed by Dangote Refinery. The company told the court that it provides essential services critical to Nigeria's economy and public welfare, adding that recent sabotage by some employees raised grave safety concerns, prompting a restructuring that affected a few staff. Justice Subilim held that allowing the strike to proceed could cripple essential services and cause irreparable damage to the refinery's operations. The National Education Loan Fund, NELFUND, says all applications for the 2024-2025 academic session has been closed starting from today. The agency said the closure would enable it to conclude the processing of pending applications and upkeep payments. He said the loan portal will reopen in the second week of October for fresh applications and remain open until January 2026. NELFUND's Managing Director Akintunde Sawyer announced this while addressing reporters yesterday in Abuja. Sawyer said NELFUND remains committed to removing financial barriers for students and working with institutions to ensure that no eligible student is left behind. According to him, students are expected to reapply for the 2025-2026 session to continue receiving payments. Sawyer stressed that the scheme remained interest-free, with repayments to begin 2 years after the students would have completed their National Youth Service Corps (NYSC), while employers will deduct 10% of beneficiaries' salaries. The Lagos State Universal Basic Education Board has opened its official application portal for teaching positions across the state. In a statement signed by the executive chairman of SUBEB, the board said the recruitment exercise approved by Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu targets qualified candidates willing to contribute to the delivery of quality education in Lagos State. According to the Commission, applicants are required to submit applications strictly online via www.subebbjobs.lagosstate.gov.ng. The statement warned that physical submissions will not be entertained and stressed that the board has not authorized anyone to collect money for the exercise, which is completely free. It stated that the documents for application include O-level certificate, WAEC, NECO, or NAPTEB, degree certificate or NCA certificate, and NYSC discharge or exemption certificate as applicable. The statement said the closing date for submission of applications is 14th October 2025. Data released by the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has shown that over 6.2 million Nigerians have completed their online pre-registration for the Continuous Voter Registration or CVR exercise. The figures published on INEC's X page revealed that a total of 6,232,673 people were recorded as pre-registered between September 22 and September 28, 2025. From the number, 3,250,338 or 52.15% were females, while 2,982,335 or 47.85% were males. The data showed that 4,230,715 Nigerians between the ages of 18 and 34 were youths. 1,565,824 were students, and 137,865 were people with disabilities. INEC stated that between September 22 and 26, 2025, 1,004,132 Nigerians completed either the physical or online registration. The number included 537,000 743 people who completed their registration online and 466,389 people who completed theirs physically. The number of females was 555,077, or 55.28%. The number of males were 449,055, or 44.72%. Youths from the ages of 18 to 34 were 742,379,000 students. Students were 354,406, and people with disabilities were 13,987. The continuous voter registration began on August 18, 2025. The federal government has declared tomorrow, Wednesday, October 1, 2025, as a public holiday to celebrate the country's independence anniversary. In a statement, the Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Tunji Ojo, congratulated Nigerians on what he described as a historic milestone. Tunji Ojo enjoined Nigerians to continue being patriotic, united, and resilient, attributes he said have kept the nation together since independence in 1960. He urged the people to keep faith in President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's renewed hope agenda, which he said is focused on national rebirth, economic growth, and shared prosperity. To end the Sapientia TV news at 1 p.m., a recap of the major headlines. The federal government has cancelled the parade earlier planned for the commemoration of Nigeria's 65th independence anniversary on October 1, 2025. The Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, or PENGASSAN, has vowed to continue its nationwide strike against Dangote Refinery, despite a restraining order from the National Industrial Court. The Nigerian Education Loan Fund, or NELFUND, has announced the closure of the application portal for the 2024-2025 academic session from today. And finally, the federal government has declared tomorrow, Wednesday, October 1, as a public holiday to celebrate the country's independence anniversary. That was the Sapientia TV news at 1 p.m. On behalf of the editorial and technical crew, I am Joe Igbo. Good afternoon and thanks for choosing TV Sapientia.